Right. Then please browse about. So what we were talking, please browse, please search about browser war. Browser war is what like the browsers were fighting. So when HTML was introduced by Tim Berners-Lee, so HTML is the language of web. So it is the language of web. But when it was introduced, the browsers were trying to, web browsers like Netscape, Firefox, Internet Explorer, all web browsers, they try to introduce their own tags. Yala try kara, so they try to introduce their own tags. Yala ge own tag, tamangema tags introduced. So that was called browser war. So let's say, okay, so Netscape Navigator wanted to display it nicely in their browser. Then Internet Explorer think, so why should we should add something more and display it nicely. So then Internet Explorer tried to display it more, actually better than the Netscape. So there was a cool war between the browsers. So new tags were introduced that period. So that is called browser war. And anyway, this HTML and HTML. So then with the browser war, Tim Berners-Lee and his team, the World Wide Web Consortium said, hey, all you need to include cascading style sheets. Cascading style sheets for styling. Don't spoil HTML. Keep as it is. Don't change the language. Instead of that, you use separate style language. Here we introduce that is CSS. So they have introduced a new one called CSS only for styling. So HTML preserve the structure, whereas CSS handle the styling part. The HTML වලින් අර එක concrete එක දානවා වගේ paint එක තමයි CSS. So HTML was like concrete and the structure, and the paint and the decoration was from the CSS, but still the browser was still, it continues. Now what browsers are doing, they are introducing new CSS, new styles. අපිට HTML නෙපා කිව්වේ. එහෙනම් HTML එක තිබ්බ විදිහට තිබ්බාවේ කියලා. Browsers මොකද කරන්නේ? යාලා cascading style sheets. ඒවා අලුතෙන් styles හඳුන්වලා දෙන්න. Okay, that is about cascading, right? NG. Cascading style sheets. XHTML was the XML, actually it was HTML plus XML mix. XML, I said that it has more rules, but HTML was not having that much of rules. Capital waliන් start kala, simple waliන් end kara, අවුලක් නෑ HTML. So no, it's not case sensitive, not forcing the capital simple cases, right? It's not actually forcing it's not forcing styles, it's not forcing structure, no proper, so opening tag, closing tag rules. So those were not considered. So let's learn this in future. Anyway, this is not considered, this was not considered in HTML, but XML was highly structured. So they were really think about more rules. So more rules with HTML created XHTML. So, and that is actually some people call this is the version 4 of HTML is XHTML. But now, currently we have HTML5. It is the newer or the current version of HTML. It's the newer or current version of HTML, right? So that is it. So likewise, right? So please search about browser war. So this is how HTML was developed. Then the next concern is W3C. So I said that it is World Wide Web Consortium. They are setting rules to HTML. Right, W3C is World Wide Web Consortium. They set rules, standard for HTML. Meanwhile, ICANN. So ICANN is Internet Corporation for Names and Numbers. ICANN is Internet Corporation for Names and Numbers. Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers. Internet Corporation for assigned names and numbers. What they are doing? Okay, so when there is a service like a website, typically they have a name. So let's say this is like if you have a local shop. If there's a local shop, the shop has a name. How we identify this shop? By the name. So this web is a service providing entity. Newspaper. So let's take a newspaper. Newspaper has a name. So similar to that, web is providing information. So it also has a name. Actually, it is identified by address called IP address. But the thing is, so it is difficult to remember these IP addresses. If you want to know IP address of a web page, you can go to your command prompt. Here in my case, I'm using terminal. But in your computer, you can use command prompt. You can just click on the Windows button. Windows button again, click kala command prompt kila search karanna. Then you'll get this CLI window. So this is command line interface. There in the CLI window, you can type ping www.google.com, and that will show you the IP address of google.com. Here in my case, it shows 142.251.10.103, but that this can be vary, right? Because Google, they are having a server farm, not just a single server. Eka computer එකක් නෙමෙයි website එක දෙන එක තැනක් නෙමෙයි ඒගොල්ලන් තියෙන්නේ. They are having a farm, and there are different farms even. Singapore, they are having another server, and Singapore server farm, and there's another server farm in USA. Likewise, different server farms. Therefore, this address can be varied. But anyway, using this address, you can visit Google. If I copy this and paste this in the browser, here if I paste this in the browser address bar, it is visiting Google. You can see it's visiting Google. It is like dialing from the phone number. You can, if your phone book has the name, you can dial. So I have sent it to the chat, right? I have sent that number. That is 142. This is the number, right? 142.251.10.103. That is the number. If I dial from the phone number, so still the call will go. If I dial from the name, if phone book has that name, yes, it will direct. So similar to that, this is the address that I got for google.com. If you also need to search, get that, you can try to type this command in your command prompt. ඔයාගේ computer එකේ command prompt එකේ type කරලා බලන්න. ping space එකක් www.google.com. Then the reply comes from that address. The reply comes from that address. That is actually the address of google.com. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ phone එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම්, if you are using a phone, mobile phone, you can use this IP to domain to IP. Here then you will get domain to IP converter. I'll send that link also. Domain to IP convert. Then you can type www.google.com. That will also discover and give you 4 W's. www.google.com. That will discover and give you the IP address here. So this is what I got from that. That if you are using mobile or computer, this will work. Command prompt එකට යන්න බැයි නම්, if you cannot access the command prompt, just access this and browse 142.250.81.228, and that is also Google. You can just copy and paste it here, and it should visit Google. You can see here, it's visiting Google, right? So this IP address is a unique address. It is unique to the entire world. No one else will get that address. මුළු ලෝකෙටම මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ එකම IP address එක. වෙන කාටවත් මේ IP address එක ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ පුතේ. ඒක unique. Unique. කාටවත් මේ IP address එක sign වෙන්නේ Google වලට විතරයි. ඔයාලටත් පුළුවන් එහෙම ගන්න, but you need to pay some additional amount. We have to actually get that to our representative. Sri Lankan representative for this ICANN is UOM. That is also called LK domain registry. ලංකාවේ ICANN ලා represent කරන්න ඉන්න කට්ටිය තමයි University of Moratuwa. In Sri Lanka, this University of Moratuwa uses LK domain registry. ඒගොල්ලෝ LK domain registry එකෙන් තමයි ඒක handle කරන්නේ. You can also try this, පුතේ. So always do some practical to understand this, right? When I tell this, so I really like if you can experiment, because that will give more exposure to you. It will go to your mind. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවට ඒක යනවා තදට. ඉන්න experiment එක කරන්න මම කියලා දෙන ගමන්ම. So this is Moratuwa University. You can search LK domain registry, and basically this is LK domain registry. That is domains.lk. Domains.lk. I can experiment very slow connection to this. Don't know why. Today's it's very, very bad. I think due to these protests and all, they have purposely slowed down the network connections. Right, you can see this is a special notice to the customer via LK domain registry. You have to pay using dollars. Why? Why do you need to pay using dollars? Because so you know they are the representative for this. They are the representatives for this ICANN. එතකොට ICANN වලට යාලා ඩොලර් වලින් pay කරන්න ඕන. එතකොට අපි රුපී වලින් ගෙවලා LK domain registry එක ඩොලර් වලින් ගෙවනකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඩොලර්ස් ලැබෙනවා. Therefore they encourage you to pay by dollars here. Will be billed using United States dollars, because this exchange in issues and all, they will bill you using USD. That is the notice, right? So if you want, you can just try to locate your domain. For an example, so let's say Situm want to buy a domain, so Situm can search whether situm.lk is available. I'm sure that it should not be available, right? Because Situm is a common name. I hope somebody else has retrieved that. Let's see. So this is unique, right? Situm.lk, if you buy, that will be unique. It is available. Yes, Situm, you are lucky. I think you can buy that for 5,000 rupees per year. Per year, right? You can අවුරුද්දට රුපියල් 5000ක් ගෙවන්න ඕන, but you will be billed using dollars here. Situm.lk, and you can try to get this additional domains, subdomains. These are called subdomains. We will learn, right? Subdomains, situm.edu.lk, or level 2 domains. Then situm.hotel.lk, situm.org.lk. And there are some suggest top levels: iSitum, eSitum, MySitum, FastSitum, MSitum. So these are suggested top level, right? This is top level, and these are subdomains. Subdomain means it's having 2 levels. Can even be 3 levels of subdomains, right? So that is the nature. Anyway, so this is for LK. No, LK, there is a representative per country. There is a representative, but for other things you don't have representation. You can go to website like Namecheap. So these are private organizations. You can buy domain names from them as well. Namecheap is one thing. iPower is another thing. iPower.com, and another thing is GoDaddy.com. These people are domain name resellers. So ICANN is the factory. ICANN tama factory එක මේගොල්ලෝ ආපහු අරගෙන විකුණන කට්ටිය. This is HostGator or iPower. Okay, let's give some time to load. Okay, this is okay, you can search whether situm.com is available. Okay, it's still loading. Meanwhile, it loads. Let's go to the note. And IETF, that is also a very important entity, that is called Internet Engineering Task Force. And they are just maintaining the internet, the infrastructure maintenance team. යටිතල පහසුකම් මේවා බලා ගන්න maintenance team එක තමයි IETF කියලා කියන්නේ. So as we learn, internet is not owned by any party. කාටවත් internet අයිති නැහැ. It's public, general public. World Wide Web is a service. HTML is the language. W3C is setting standards to them. HTML, web actually. ICANN is the name provider. They are giving names and also they are assigning IP addresses. We'll learn about these IP addresses names in future. And IETF is the maintenance team. Internet Engineering Task Force is the maintenance team. And CMEV is the connection path. So CMEV is covering some countries, but CMEV is the connection path, how we get internet. So this is, I think, here, situm.org is available $7 per year. Situm.ai is available $69 per year. Situm.inc is available, but it is expensive. Situm.art, $3 per year. Situm.me, $4 per year. Likewise, you can buy some common domains also. So this is one, Namecheap is one provider, and this GoDaddy is another provider. iPower is another provider. You can buy from anyone, compare the price and go for the best service. Okay, let's see what is CMEV. Here you can see in the wiki CMEV version 5, which is currently we are using. We are in CMEV 5. So that is 38 terabit per second connection. So now I think CMEV 6 is CMEV 6 is trying for 120 terabit per second, 4 times speeder, faster than the current internet. CMEV 5, that is what we are in. So it is nothing but a connection wire. It's a fiber optic wire where we are connected. So it's connecting this Catania and you can see Yanbu and Karachi, Matara, Kolkata, and so you can see Medan, different cities. Here different connections are there. This is a fiber optic line going under the sea. පොළොව යටින් යන මුහුද යටින් යන fiber optic line එකක්. ඒකට තමයි අපි connect වෙලා ඉන්නේ. So in future, what will happen if we don't have dollars to get this connection? I don't know what will happen. Sometimes we will go completely blind, no internet, so don't know what will happen next, because power we can manage with off grids, solar systems. So internet cannot see any proper solution. So what will happen next? But I hope the government anyway, or some kind of intelligent person, or anyway a kind of a better person can manage this well. I hope that will not go wrong. If it go wrong, the connection will be dropped, totally dropped. Because now you know some channels stopped due to this dollar issue. So what happens if internet stops? It's end, right? So therefore we need to know this. So this is wired connection, but we are getting wireless connections also, that is through the satellite internet. But this is the wired connection. This is the fastest, not the wireless. Our providers, they get internet connection from this fiber line and distributed to us. And you know, the fiber to home project will give direct, actually fiber lines to up till your home doorstep. Fiber to city project is giving fiber line till your main city. If you are getting fiber to home connection, superb, you will access internet very fastly, because from here to here also you get fiber. That is, then you are really lucky to get that fiber connection. Okay, so that is it. And I think we went through the basic facts. CMEV is the connection cable. Actually, CMEV So let's explore what was there in the CMEB. CMEB version 3 was connecting entire, I think entire world here. Yes, this is CMEB 3. But now actually it was limited to us because of the connection speed. They have different connection. It's even connected to Australia like countries. This is CMEB 3. Right? Southeast Asia, Middle East and Western Europe. This you can see it's connecting a lot of regions. There are some other fiber cables also. Okay, I think with that and with the power issue, better we stop from here. I'll send the recording to you. If you missed that, don't worry, I'll be sending the recording. And another thing, so I'll be sending the note as a PDF in case if you missed that as well. Okay, then see you all next week, Pute. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good night, sir. Thank you.